going well.
Well, it's going well for us, but not so much for the babies. See, that's what they do to babies inside there. And this is what a baby looks like in the womb, but this is what they actually do to kill the babies. Is your girlfriend or whoever relationship she is to you, is that what they're doing in there, is having an abortion today?
Absolutely.
What is he doing there?
I don't think that's any of your concern, but this clinic provides like...
We have to get out of the way. The Carl, the security guard, will come
Well, children died through birth control
Please
too.
go over here to the Choices Medical Clinic. We're out here to offer different alternatives, and right next door is a pregnancy resource center that can help her free of charge.
Yeah.
And you know, if the debate is all about choice, then people should be willing to listen to alternatives, like going over here to the Choices Medical Clinic, and they have a free ultrasound. She's getting ready to leave. Carl will come out if you're standing in the driveway.
Let him come out.
Well,
He has to get over himself.
I know that.
We're just here to try and rescue children from death. They're murdering children here.
Let's show you this fetal development information.
And people will lie out, I'm not saying you are, but people will lie out here and say they're not here to murder their child, and they are. And so we can't take chances, because children are being murdered here today. They were murdered here yesterday. And that's a very big deal in God's eyes.
Right. How far along the issue?
I think didn't God send the Israelites to kill like everybody in Jericho at one point?
Well, God has the right to do what he wishes. We don't. We're not God.
Yeah, we're not God.
We have no right to take the life of another person unjustly.
Yeah, and talking about the Old Testament, in Jeremiah 1:5, God said, I knew you before I formed you in the womb, which means that he has a purpose for each one of us in life. And if we come down here and have the babies killed, then we can't see what God has for us in life, and we're thwarting by killing the baby. We're thwarting that person from going up and finding out what God's purpose for them is in life. And everyone has a purpose in life.
You guys get vaccinated?
No, wait, you're changing the subject. You're changing the subject. We're not going to go off on the back.
Right here, children are being murdered.
People try to divert the conversation because they're feeling a little bit guilty. After all, God gave you a conscience. So no, we're not going to get off on another topic.
You guys eat anything with natural flavoring?
Hey, wait a minute. Come on.
Sorry, you know this is evil, that children are being murdered here.
How far along is she in her, you know?
She's not pregnant.
She wouldn't be in here if she wasn't pregnant.
She's here for birth control.
Well, then you know, if she's in here for birth control, she'll be out in about 10 minutes, so we'll see. Because they're doing surgical abortions today, and we know about how long it takes for them to have a conversation about birth control. And we've had people come out and say, well, I was just in there for birth control, and they don't have to wait that long. So, are you lying to me or not? You know.
I don't think it really matters regardless.
It does matter, because if a child's being murdered, that's a very serious deal.
Yeah. Look at this is fetal development.
It's a very serious deal. It is a crime in God's eyes. It's a serious crime. Doesn't matter. It's still a crime.
I'm Jewish.
I don't
have the same Christian views.
It doesn't matter. Well, would you? Do you have any born children?
We just quoted the Old Testament.
I quoted the Old Testament.
Yeah, and so Jewish means God is pro-life, because that was from the Old Testament.
Do you have any born children?
Yeah.
Would you murder them? Would you put a gun to their head?
I don't know. I kind of want to a couple times during the day.
Well, you may want to, but would you actually do it? Because that's what you're doing to your preborn child here, right?
Yeah.
If you're here to murder them. It's the same thing.
It's not laughable.
It's just a matter of location. They're inside the womb, so we think we can justify murdering them in our mind.
Oh, and if she's having what they call a chemical abortion, RU486, you can actually reverse this. There's a toll-free number that if a person doesn't take the second pill, they just give them the first pill and then they send them home with a second or third pill to take. Then she can call this toll-free number, and there's doctors who are on standby that can reverse that. It's another, I forget what the drug is that they can give them to reverse the...
Abortionpillreversal.com, that might be what that has.
Right. And here's some references. If you don't care about a baby, at least care about her, because this is abortion risks. These are all abortion risks, and these people, they make these pamphlets out of true stories about abortion risks.
But you should care about your child.
Scarring, cervical...
I'm pretty sure my wife had all this whenever we had our first baby.
No, she didn't have a perforated uterus.
I'm mean,
and parts of the baby left in the womb. I don't think so.
She was bleeding out for about 6 hours.
But abortion is very
Did you
unnatural.
go ahead and have the baby though?
Yeah.
Okay. But these are all the different things that a woman goes through when she has an abortion.
But no matter how many children you may have now, 1, 2, 3, the child in there now, that's one of your children, just inside of your wife's womb.
I guess you'll probably try to keep it a secret, but what would you think your other children at home would think that if you were down here murdering their brother or sister?
So just think when they grow up.
That is getting a little extreme.
No, it's
No,
not.
no, it's not.
That's exactly why.
It's extreme that you hurt to murder a child.
Why would you choose this child to abort and not your other ones? Is it because of finances? That's another issue, because we represent Kansas Coalition for Life, and they've actually helped people monetarily, give them money for whatever they need in order to keep their baby. And we can call Mark Gietzen, who is the head of the organization right now, and set you up with a counseling conversation so he could get you some money if it's a financial issue. If you'll be honest with us.
Or is it just a heart issue?
I'm sitting here eating McDonald's for breakfast. I'm probably eating aborted kids right now.
So are you trying to justify murdering your child today?
I'm not trying to justify anything. I just don't understand how you guys are out here justifying what you're doing.
Because we're here to rescue children from death.
For life, and that's a death
I
penalty.
understand, you care, obviously.
Yeah, yes, sir.
But that is kind of...
That's what's going to happen to your child.
What happens.
That's what's going to happen to your child.
That's magnified. The little baby might be a little bit smaller.
I'm not affected by it at all, one bit.
That's not good, sir.
Well, that means
that's not good. Something's happened to your conscience.
Your God-given conscience.
And it happens to a lot of people.
Look, I can sit here and I know what's right from wrong. I'm not going to kill somebody in cold blood.
Well, you're doing that right here, sir. If you're here to murder your child.
Well, these are.
I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to cheat on my wife. I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to lie about everything that I'm doing. I'm just going to live my life to the best of my ability.
But you are killing.
And nobody else should have the power to use their judgment against my.
Please, ma'am, go over here to the Choices Medical Clinic.
Don't listen to them. They're a bunch of quacks.
How are we quacks? Because we're trying to rescue children from death?
Because you're trying to shove your views down other people's throats who don't want to hear it. If you don't want to hear it, then...
Well, why did you walk out here, sir?
Because I wanted to see exactly what you guys are about, and now I know. So
what are we about?
Would you take some literature and think about it?
I'll take the literature.
Well, if you're here to murder your child, then you're judging them to death.
And you see, I understand you're only able to understand from your perspective.
And maybe you too.
And I understand that. So therefore, you're right.
Does that bother you that if you're here to murder your child, that you're judging them to death?
Again, sir, you're only able to understand from your perspective of things, not from mine. Therefore, you are right.
But would you be honest and tell us why you're in here for this particular abortion, but you didn't abort your other 2 children?
What's the difference?
Is it a financial issue or what? Because I'm telling you that we have helped through Kansas Coalition for Life people with finances, and then if it's a medical issue and things like that, like I said, they give you a free 3D ultrasound over here. They can see the baby and refer you for other resources as well as Kansas Coalition for Life. Why wouldn't you want to take your wife in here and get other alternatives before you make this decision?
No, you can still get
So
it
is
right
it a
here now.
financial issue or not? Do you have a job where you can support the other child or what?
I'm a pretty experienced aircraft mechanic. I make good money.
Okay.
I have no problem.
So it's not
Okay, so
financial.
then what's the problem there? If it's not a financial issue.
There's no issue.
So
Then why are you down here? Why wouldn't you want to have another child then?
There's a time and place for the conversation to occur. This is not the time.
this is exactly the time and place.
Yeah.
If your child's in danger in there, you need to get him or her out of there.
Yeah.
Because once your child is dead, that's it. God's not going to bring him back.
That's not the one.
And you'll live with that for the rest of your earthly life.
It's
You don't want
choice
that
of medical
on your
center, but
conscience.
that's a good one.
That you murdered your child today.
Sir, I've lived with a lot worse on my conscience. I think I can live with that.
There have been men who've killed themselves because women who've killed themselves, mothers who killed themselves because they couldn't live with what they did to their own child. There are couples who want children and they can't have children. And there are people here to murder their children. They actually have children and then they murder them. It's upside down. You don't want to become a murderer today. I'd hope not.
I think I was a murderer like 4 years ago.
What do you mean? Did you murder another child?
I didn't murder a child.
Well, God.
Point being, like I said, I understand right from wrong. To me, this isn't wrong.
Then you don't understand right from wrong.
Want to make a choice with their bodies to do it.
Well, this is the choice they're making, and it's a wrong choice.
That's the choice that they make. That's the choice that they make.
Then you got it upside down.
God can judge them. You shouldn't.
But yet,
the Bible says to judge righteously.
But yet we have laws that says you cannot maliciously kill an animal, and you could go to jail for 1 year. That is a law, like in Kansas, and yet there's no penalty for human beings.
In Kansas, you can also go to jail for spitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah, but not for a year. You know, if they find out you're maliciously killing an animal.
I think the city of Wichita even has an ordinance that says whenever you pass through Douglas and Broadway, to fire a weapon 2 or 3 times in the air as you're passing through the intersection.
But that's my whole point, though.
It's
why do they have? Why do you think it's okay, or the people that pass laws think it's okay to have a penalty for that, but yet not to kill a baby? I mean, human beings are more important.
Everybody knows that this is evil.
On the sidewalk, you know what I mean?
Everybody knows that this is evil, even if they try to justify it.
You and other human beings are more important than animals?
I guess it depends who you ask, because if you ask the taxpayer, they're paying for these sidewalks to be clean. They're also paying for that, abortion, probably, for most mothers. And then
there is a law on the Hyde Amendment
for that
still.
CanCare health insurance, like me. You know how much money comes out of my check for fucking CanCare health insurance? I don't even get health insurance from the state.
Well,
that's nothing for my kid.
Okay, well, that's all the more reason you should talk to Mark about getting financial help so you can save your baby.
But that's not the point. I don't need financial help.
So,
I just think it's bullshit. People are stealing from me so they can come and get
for
babies they can't take care of.
So what's the real reason then for your having the abortion if it's not a financial issue? You just decided you don't want another child? I mean, is it just
you have another child.
Again, man, I don't think that's important.
It is. It's the life of your child.
And I could honestly, from a human standpoint, see if somebody was struggling to pay the bills and to support their children, because we've talked to people out here where they say that's the issue. But you're coming out here saying you've got a good aircraft job, there's no financial issue, but why is your wife in there killing her child? And the mothers have a maternal instinct, and I bet she doesn't really want to be in there. It's probably you that's
here we go with that. Yeah.
Well,
don't go down the wrong road, lady.
Well, then, did she ever say, I don't want to kill this baby? Did she ever say that?
Ma'am, I think you're twisting things around.
Then what's the reason?
Crazy proportion.
Well, then what's the reason?
What's the reason you guys are out here?
To rescue children from death.
That she came down to have an abortion. You see, that's what you're skirting around, is you say it's not a financial issue, but you never told me why.
Because you guys like to create these views in your mind about this woman who's getting an abortion, and she can't afford it.
It's from our experience. I've been coming out here since 1991. It's through experience. Even through late-term abortions, when George Tiller was out here.
What happened to George Tiller?
He was killed.
Okay.
So what's your point about that?
So what are you guys? Are you guys going to go in there and murder all the doctors?
No, that was some way out in the left field person. No, I wouldn't kill him.
Well, but we're out here to rescue children from death, because children are being murdered in there. And as Christians,
the number one way that you can help spread awareness that's not out here on the street. I know.
Well, but
you may think you're actually reaching these people, but the truth is these people out here don't give a fuck.
You're saying
you're saying today they may not, but we have had many people come out and say they changed their mind and they've gone even over to choices.
You want to spread awareness? Raise money on GoFundMe.
How you know we don't?
Raise money. Just get somebody high profile to donate lots of money.
And you see, that's always the issue, is you guys always think we don't get involved in other things. Fortunately, my husband and I have been financially well off enough that besides tithing to my church, I do give to a lot of different organizations,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this is totally separate because they're actually killing a human being inside.
Right here.
There's no comparison. Today. They're killing babies. They're killing a human being made in God's image. And the little baby's heart's already beating. The baby has brain waves. The DNA is already in place.
Why don't you guys help children that are living?
These children are living, sir.
No, we don't. I just told you, I give money to a lot of different organizations,
Why are you dehumanizing the preborn? These children are living.
Yeah.
The child inside your wife's womb, he or she's living right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless he or she is murdered. That's the problem, is that's how you can justify murder, is because you've dehumanized the preborn. Because you live in a...
This tells step by step not only the pictures, but exactly what the fetal development is at each stage.
But that's how it can become so easy.
I'll take the information.
Okay,
Sure.
and would you sit down and read it?
I will sit on that bench over there and read through it.
Okay.
But I will tell you, whatever
And
is
here's a gospel tract
the
also.
literature in these pamphlets is not going to do anything to change my conscience, to change me as a human being,
And this is the
to change
gospel
my
tract.
religious views, to change anything that I may or may not do in the near or now future.
Do you have a religious preference?
I do not.
Okay, well then I think you said you were an atheist one, didn't you?
The Lord can change
go
you.
over this this gospel tract, because you know God's even converted atheists. Lee Strobel, I've read some of his books, and he was an atheist, and now he's what they call an apologist for Christianity. Meaning he's written books about proving the aspects of Christianity. So, okay, so I'm you saying don't let. I mean, if there's going to be a choice, and you're going to sit down and read the information, and we'll pray out here that even if you don't change your mind, maybe your wife will come out and say she can't do it. But don't let Carl, the security guard, take the information away from you, because I'd rather you just come back out and give it back to me if he starts to take it away. Okay? Would you at least do that? Say, no, Carl, I'll give it back to that woman instead of you putting it in the trash can?
He will not bother me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just, again, you cannot change anybody's views if they've already got their mind made up.
No,
That's not true.
I don't
People
believe that,
change.
because that's the whole point of Christianity, is people that
change.
have come out of atheism and other religions,
Like I said,
have been
because-
under the Holy Spirit's
Because
conviction.
unfortunately, there are always going to be people like me who are not bothered by that. Who are
Oh, I know. I see it all the time on the streets.
Who are not bothered by that. Who are not bothered by people out here telling me that what I'm doing is wrong and that I'm a killer. I'm not bothered by that. Does that mean I have no moral conscience? No.
Not much of a conscience. It's been seared in this culture.
And you see, again,
And
that's
God
your
can save you.
perspective. I understand your.
I see it all the time, so I'm used to it.
Perspective,
Well-
so therefore you are right.
Well, but like I say, in the scope of history of people being converted to Christ, people who've been the worst sinners of all. I mean, they've murdered people. They've whatever their even crimes are, not just for being an atheist, but crimes that they've been put in prison for, have changed and come to Christ. And it's because of people's prayers. We pray for people's being converted to Christ, for them to have a change, and people have done that. So,
Do you have a Bible at home?
Do I look like I'd have a Bible?
I don't. Most people in America have a Bible at home, even if they're atheist or agnostic.
probably not.
Or on your smartphone. Well, if you don't get, well, do you want a Bible?
I'd rather not.
Okay.
I've read enough Bibles. I get the point, the gist of it. It's not.
Well,
And what
there
is
was.
your symbols mean?
Just symbols.
That's not a
Is that a
satanic symbol?
Is that a satanic pentagram and firearms?
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
Okay. Well, we'll pray for you. Go over there, and like I said, don't let Carl take the information away from you. And if he starts to, just say no. I'll just go back and take it back to that lady if he starts to do that.
Just tell him to do his job and leave you alone.
Okay.
You know, and it's not too late to get your wife out of there, to get your child out of there.
Yeah, that's right. Because we've had people that come out and they've been like, and this has been not recently, but I remember being out here during the Tiller days, and people come out and said they actually were getting ready to have an abortion.
Why don't you guys go out to Planned Parenthood? I think there are more ladies there getting abortions than here.
Well, they do chemical abortions over there, I think twice a month, if they're still that way.
I think they do them a lot more than that.
You think they're doing it more than just
I mean, I know somebody who just went a couple weeks ago and had one done.
Are you 486?
The pill or whatever.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that literature there? It's got the reversal. So the people that would actually tell us that it's not a surgical abortion, it's a chemical abortion, RU486, then it can be reversed if they get a hold of that toll-free number before they take the second pill, I think it is. So, okay. Well, we'll leave you at your thoughts, and
Thank you.
and we'll be praying for you.
Consider getting your wife and child out of there, sir. It's not too late.